right. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. So, this is the first of its kind. This is welcome to the Gaming and Reactions podcast show. And I am your host, PJC Gaming and Reactions, here to go ahead and have a discussion around this whole Microsoft leak matter. And, just to give my thoughts around it, I'm going to try to remain unbiased as possible, just to give my opinion on these leaks. And it's just been, on my mind, as of late. And I know it's a lot of information that has come out. So, what you see on the screen, a lot of this information is posted out on TheVerge.com. So again, shout out to Tom Warren and his team, or his colleagues who has put out this information. And it's sad. I have to say that it's really sad that this this information has leaked the way it did. D Nice, blessings, peace be with you, man. Thank you for joining the first Gaming Interaction podcast show. That's what we're calling it moving forward. Just is just a simple setup right now. We're gonna clean it up a little bit, but I want to have this discussion because it's been on my radar for the last day, and I don't want to wait too long to give my thoughts and opinions on it. Again, there has been a lot of information that has come out now. I have read through some of the documents. I've been out on Twitter, and just to bleed through the comments and just to see what people are talking about. And it's the same old thing. There's nothing new under the sun. But we're gonna get right into it. So I hope you are having a good day, man. Again, I always appreciate the love that you show, and thank you for joining the stream. Hopefully, we get others in the stream as well. And I'm not gonna. I'll say this: it's sometimes when these leaks happen, it can put you in a shocking state. Um, based on what has been leaked, and if it's a big deal, right? And this is very, 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 very interesting. I'm not gonna say it is bad for the industry when you have leaks like this. And we kind of talk about this all the time, or we will go out on social media, and or you hear other content creators, or people in the industry, and even the execs themselves and developers. This is bad. It's really, really bad when you put your blood, sweat, and tears into making a video game, and then you have it leaked out to the public, and it's not something that you want to happen or have happen, because once it gets out there, the influence plants itself, and it could have a positive impact, or if it have a negative impact, how that game does when it comes to sales. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, man, 100%. And I'm not going to pull any punches. Now, there are those, we know there's ponies, we know there's bots. There are ponies that gets it. There are ponies that don't get it. There are bots that gets it, and there are bots that don't get it. Okay. And let me see if I can try to paint the picture clearly for what I'm saying here. The ponies that gets it, the bots that gets it, they understand. They see the picture clearer. Okay. They're not the ones, they're gonna tell you the honest truth. Okay. They're gonna give it to you real. They're gonna give it to you raw. Okay. And it just makes sense across the board. And that's where, I have my respect to the ponies that gets it and the bots that gets it. So if there's a game that comes out on the PlayStation, those ponies that gets it, they're gonna tell you like, hey, this game doesn't look good. This game has, is performing bad, except, or this game looks, they're gonna give you the real. It's the same with the bots that gets it. But when you have that, the extra off to the side, I think that's bad for gaming. So the ponies that don't get it and the bots that don't get it, it's bad for business. It's almost like a disease. It's a plague because it's a constant bash about a console or about a video game that they're never gonna play. It's vice versa. It's the same. And it's just, I don't understand it. It makes no sense to me. But we're gonna move along. That's what I mean by that. Um, it's like, why can't we come together and get in the boxing ring, right? We can get in the boxing ring and we can throw haymakers at each other, a few jabs, a few rights, etc., as long as those punches make sense, right? That we can come at the end of that match, shake hands and say good fight and let's move on, right? But when you have the extra on the outside, that's just talking nonsense. It's just bad. It's just toxic. It's just, I wouldn't want to even, I don't even want to entertain it, really, to be honest with you. I see a lot of that out on social media. I don't understand how you can go back and forth for so long on a social media platform when your comments or whatever you're saying about Microsoft just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. You're going after the Xbox and your responses don't have no merit. It makes no logical sense. I don't get it. And then it's the same for the bots. They go after the ponies. It makes no logical sense. I cannot tell you a game is trash. I cannot tell you it's trash if I never played the game. Okay? I never played the game. I can look at trailers all day long, right? And tell you something that I don't like about the game and something that I do like about the game. And I'm going to, I may laugh, I may joke a little bit, but at the same time, I'm going to make it make sense because the facts are in front of you, right? Same with the Xbox that gets it. Hey, they're going to say the same. They're going to say the same thing. So as long as we can agree to disagree, perfect. That's fine. But when you're just being toxic and you're just throwing stuff out there just to be throwing stuff out there, it just doesn't make any sense. So I'm going to get off my soapbox on that piece of it. I will leave with this though. Whatever console that you prefer to play your games on, play your games. Okay? Just play your games. Respect the other space, vice versa, whatever the case may be. Just play your freaking games. Okay? Don't go trashing other games or talking crap about other games if you haven't even played the game. And it doesn't mean that you have to play the game, because you can actually look at gameplay and you can make your decision there. You can conjure up your opinions on what you see. That's totally fine. Everyone has an opinion about something. It doesn't have, it could be about anything. right? But make it make sense, right? Be able to sit down and have a somewhat intellectual conversation about the matter. Try to be somewhat intelligent on it. Or it's I don't know, man. It's very, very toxic. Um, I don't it's I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. It's been here for a while, but I guess it is what it is. I just don't understand it. Now, let's talk about the Microsoft leaks. Again, I was able to, read some of this stuff, and we're just gonna go down one by one. I'm gonna open up the first one. I want to D Nice. I want to get your thoughts. Anybody else that's watching, everybody's welcome to join the stream, man. I want to get you guys' thoughts, man. But at the same time, just be respectful. And let's just go from there. So we're going to open up the first one here. Okay. We're going to open up the first on the list. And I'm not going to, read over everything. We're just going to try to pick out, what stands out. But we're going to connect. Everything is going to connect. Right? We're just gonna make everything connect. We're not just gonna just pick out bits and pieces and like, oh, blah 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 blah. No. We're gonna make sure everything sticks. So the title of this here is Microsoft new diskless Xbox Series X design with a lift to weight controller. FTC versus Microsoft document reveal plans for a cylinder shape all digital 2 terabyte Xbox Series X plus a new two-tone controller with modular thumbsticks. All right. Apparently, this article was written by Tom Warren. He's a senior editor. He covers Microsoft content. I'm pretty sure he's a diehard fanboy himself, and I don't know, but this is the console. This is the picture of the console that was leaked, and I wanted to get you guys' opinion based on what has been shown here, honest opinion. And then I'm gonna give my thoughts on it. Okay. Actually, you know what? I'll give my thoughts first because, again, when it comes to leaks, it's bad for business. It is terrible. It's horrible, especially in this capacity, or at this capacity, especially when you have a plan for a certain time period, and again, I mean, you have your roadmap. Here it is. We've been planning this for, quite some time. And you have to keep in mind as well that when it comes to businesses, it doesn't take a person with a business degree to figure this out. Those plans change over time. Okay. So you may have a roadmap, but along your journey, you may change something. Okay. Now, I don't know how old these documents are that has been leaked, but these are documents that were provided to the courts for this whole, FTC versus Microsoft debacle over the ABK deal. Now, looking at this design here, this design, here's my thought. Oh man, where to begin? This is the Xbox apparently the Xbox Series S refresh, the most powerful Xbox ever, now adorably all digital. Now, when we talked about digital, the digital future, right? It's coming. It's coming. It's actually it's I would say an all digital is coming. Okay, it's not all digital right now, but the all digital is coming. I would say again, we'll come home, we pick up a controller, turn on your TV or whatever it is, and you play your video games. Yes, we also talked about the infrastructure, it's just not in place just yet, but I can see Microsoft, you know, stamping their position already on the chessboard. They're already there. So they're trying to gain that huge foothold no matter how big the infrastructure is, as that infrastructure starts to improve and increase, and they're gonna they're gonna continue to grab a huge chunk of that market. Period. That's what these businesses do, right? So, um, here it gives a description, of this Xbox Series X refresh. Loco, welcome to the stream, man. It's good to have you here. Thank you for being here. So, Brooklyn, Xbox Series S refresh. Brooklyn would deliver 4K Gen 9 console gaming with more internal storage, faster Wi Fi, reduced power, a more immersive controller, and a beautiful redesign that elevates the all digital experience of the Xbox ecosystem. Now, and that has some other caveats with the console. This is great. It's I mean, this is what these companies do. They're in this market to compete against each other. And this is nothing new to any of us, right? And you know, if this is the direction that Microsoft is pulling the rope, you know, um, then here it is. It sucks to get leaked out this way, but this is their refresh console. I don't see any problem with it at all. And I don't know if I'm going to buy a digital. Now, I do have an Xbox Series X. Okay. I don't think I'm going to buy a digital, all digital Xbox Series X. That's just me, and to each their own. Okay. But this is good uh, for gaming. There are Xbox fans that are out there. There are PlayStation fans out there. There are fans out there that have both consoles. They're and they wouldn't mind picking this up. A okay, fine. When it comes out, if it comes out in this design, have fun. Go out, grab it, and just play your games. There's always going to be that competitive spirit that's going to be in the space. I'm pretty sure whatever Sony presented to the courts, they're gonna have a console. It's there's gonna be a console. We don't know what it is. It could be all digital, just like the Xbox Series X. We have no clue yet. So we just have to sit back and wait. So, what are you guys' thoughts? Your honest opinion on this design of the Xbox Series X refresh? I think it's Brooklyn, is aka Brooklyn is what they call it. I don't know. Um, what are your thoughts? Those are my thoughts. I think the console is will be good for gamers who like an all digital Xbox console. One thing though, I don't understand why would you why would you have an Xbox Series Xbox? That's the thing. It's Xbox. So I guess I can't get over the X at the end of box, because when we think about Xbox, we think of a box, right? We think of a box. So I guess I just have to get over that, right? Because it's a cylinder. It's round. I'm not gonna sit here and clown it. I'm not gonna sit here and make any jokes about it. That's not what this is about. It's about getting you guys' thoughts and opinions as well. Would you pick this up, or is this not something that's up your alley, or you just don't have any care in the world? So, Loco says they say they have a real plan, so that means this was a facade for the deal to go through. And we're gonna get to that. I want to take it um one leak at a time. We're gonna get to that too. Let's talk about it. Loco says, or damage control, because Phil said everything changed probably after the deal went through. We're gonna talk about that more. All Digi, he says. Loco says they want to lead the charge. And yes, and this is something that we all already know, right? Microsoft has a vision. They have a plan. They have already come out and, pretty much shared with, the gaming universe, the gaming community, whatever you want to call it, that, hey, we are in third place behind Sony and Nintendo when it comes to the console space. It's there. So what do Microsoft do now, right? And it kind of made sense in the beginning when you come out with a subscription service and then you do day and date. We talked about that, day and date. We're going to talk about that more. So when you come out with a subscription service and day and date and all the other projects that you have in place, moving forward, it kind of painted the picture that, hey, Microsoft is now changing directions, right? They're changing direction. They're saying, hey, we can't compete in this space, and that space, which is the console space with Sony and Nintendo. Let's move over into the cloud space, the mobile space, the digital space, because we have already have an infrastructure in place where we can be able to do that, and then, it's going to be and make the whole gaming space even more competitive, because now Sony and Nintendo is going to have to compete in that space, that cloud space, that digital space, whatever that space is, right? That Microsoft is already stamped into, and they're going to continue to move forward. Okay. So I'm going to do a 180. We're going to come back to the chat, and yes, they are leading the charge. They are leading the charge in that space, and there's nothing wrong with that. Microsoft has a vision. They know what direction they want to go. They're headed in that direction, and they have to know in their hearts and hearts that the competition won't be able to compete at a level that they're going to be at, because even though Sony is, trying to push into that that space as well, Microsoft is hey, we're going here. Let's go. And you have to think about it. Think about this as well. Consoles have limitations. When it comes to developers developing their video games, they have a vision when it comes to their video games, and they're hoping with the hardware that they are given, that they're able to create their vision and have it perform at the level that they want it to perform on that hardware, that console that's coming out, that we are all looking forward to purchasing or seeing and purchasing and picking up and playing, whether it's Xbox, whether it's Nintendo, whether it's PlayStation. Okay. This is good for gaming. For those who want an all digital console, here it is. Okay. Again, I don't see anything wrong with it. It's just sad that it got leaked the way it did. Okay. And me, you know, I would if I was in the boardroom and sitting down with Phil and the team, we have to make sure that whatever we do is secured. We have to, because this right here is very important. It's this is none of this should have got leaked out to the public. Okay? None of it, because it's 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 the investment that these companies put into their work, right? And they want to be competitive. They want to make sure that they provide a service, a product to the consumer, and try their best to remain competitive in that space, right? So this right here, I just got to say, this is sad and it's bad for business. Back to the chat. The Thinker, what's going on? And welcome. The Thinker says it's adorable. That's your opinion. I respect your opinion. The Thinker says, where's Patrick Enigma, aka Mr. Xbox, will never go all digital. So did PE say that? I haven't heard from PE in a while. I hope he's doing well. I hope he's able to join some of our streams, the podcasts that we have here. I haven't heard from him in quite some time, so I hope everything is well with him. Loco says the round or cylinder is to show they are moving away from the box of the X. I can see that as well. And again, it still bothers me to this day, because when you think of Xbox, you think of a box, right? Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess I wasn't. I don't need to think too much into it, because box is spelled BOX. See, look, I'm gonna exercise my demons real quick. Hold on. So I don't understand why would they make a cylinder console. But I can see, to your point, why that is. Okay. And this is the most powerful Xbox ever, based on the wording here. It's kind of I it's kind of maybe it's confusing to me, because if this is the most powerful Xbox ever, then would you say the disc-based version? Would you say the same thing about the disc-based version? The most powerful Xbox ever? I mean, I don't think it really matters, right? Maybe I'm just looking too much into it. Loco says, like I said in the very beginning, they couldn't compete like a games company, so they had to change the game. And yes, and here's my concern, guys. And this has been talked about for quite some time. Gamers have put out their opinions. The current studios that Microsoft has, and it's a lot of them, and I know they're behind the scenes, they're working on games to put out on the Xbox console. But we really haven't seen, or we really haven't heard anything um as of late, of how those games are doing. Now, I'm looking forward to Hellblade 2. I'm looking forward to um, the Indiana Jones games. I'm looking forward to Fable. I'm looking forward to, is Indiana Jones on the Xbox, or is that PlayStation? But anyways, I'm looking forward to Perfect Dark. Because Perfect Dark is one of my favorite games, especially on the N64. Perfect Dark was just that, hands down, one of my favorites. So I am definitely looking forward to seeing more on those games from Xbox. Now, during the last Xbox showcase, I don't think we received any updates on those games. Now, Xbox did show some games that are going to be coming out. A lot of Xbox gamers are excited, and rightfully so. Xbox is coming out with some games. That's good. There was a few games in that Xbox showcase that I'm interested in, and I'm definitely going to be playing. So just to clear it up, I'm a fanboy of games. Okay, on either console. So I appreciate you guys' thoughts, you guys' opinion on this here, and again, I'm just gonna leave it at that. I think it's good for gaming. However, I just don't understand how this information was able to get leaked. I mean, some people are saying that it was the FTC. Some people are saying, or there's news articles, et cetera, are saying that Microsoft did it themselves. It's just muddying the water with all these opinions and thoughts, et cetera, because there are people taking words out of context and just read what it says and just stick there. Just stick to what it says, okay? And it's always important to get the information from the horse's mouth themselves. And we're going to get into that as well, because Phil Spencer put out a memo. He put out a memo, and we're going to read that one verbatim. I'm going to try to pull it up here. We're going to read it verbatim, and we're going to see what he says there. So that is it with this one here. I don't want to really go down into all this, read all this stuff. I did read a majority of it. So we're going to get down to the controller here. I guess this AKA Sabio, the new Xbox controller, the world's best controller, now playing on a screen near you. Okay. And of course, you guys have to understand something. I mean, well, gamers have to understand something. You're going to, if you have a product that you're selling, you're going to want to say it's the best thing since sliced bread, period, based on, who your competition is, right? So if I have a product and you have a product and it's similar, I'm going to sell it. I'm going to tell you that my controller is better than your controller to the consumer. I'm like, it is. And now I have to prove that my controller is better than my competition. So that's pretty much all they're doing here. That's how I'm reading this. And, to each their own. I can't say that this controller here is not what it states. I can't, because I don't have my hands on the controller. I don't have any experience with the controller. So I have to wait till it comes out, pick it up, play with it, pause, and compare it against the PlayStation controller. And then that's where I will make my decision and say, hey, yes, I think this is, Microsoft is living up to its, what they're saying here. Now, I'm not going to try to pronounce that word. Play Anywhere, Xbox Wireless 2, Direct to Cloud, Bluetooth 5.2, seamless pair and switch, new mobile app features, see paired devices and cloud, manage devices and accessories. Then you got immersion, feel the game, precision, haptic feedback. That's something that we talked about yesterday. So it seems like they're incorporating haptic feedback into this controller here. Um, Pretty much what PlayStation currently has. Is that good for gaming? Yes, it is. That is good for Xbox gamer to enjoy that experience. They don't pretty much have that experience on their side, so to be able to enjoy that experience, that's great. Now keep in mind something of what I stated earlier. I'm talking to the ponies that gets it, and I'm talking to the bots that gets it. I'm not talking to the ponies and the bots that don't get it, that be just throwing out this bunch of nonsense. The arguments have no merit. They're just saying things they haven't a clue. That's just the way I see it. So that's the reason why I'm speaking the way I'm speaking, because yes, I would want to pick up an Xbox controller, right? And experience the haptic feedbacks just like the PlayStation controller. That's great for gaming. To me, that's my opinion, guys. I respect everybody's, I respect you guys' opinion. Um, BCA haptic double as speakers, um, accelerometer, quieter buttons and thumbstick. Because I had to take a step back and reevaluate myself, because sometimes I can come out the side of my neck and say some things and be like, oh, wait a minute, maybe I shouldn't have said that. That is a good thing, you know. And I catch myself sometimes being hypocritical about some things. So by me sitting back and assessing what just happened or what was just said by myself, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, I need to revisit this, because again, that's good for gaming. So what do you guys think of um, the new controller, the new Xbox controller that has been leaked out, and the extra caveat around the features, the functionality of this new controller? What do you guys think about it? Is this something that is it good for gaming? Uh, if you play Xbox, would you pick it up? Would you sit down and play with it and get the full experience of it? Or would you just say, no, I'm not an Xbox gamer. It's not for me. And trust me, I respect you guys' opinion on it. Now, again, before we go to the chat, I think this is good for gaming. However, I'm gonna say it again for each one, that this was bad for business, that this was leaked out the way it was leaked out. This is bad. Okay. Now to the chat. The thinker says physical game media will eventually die out. You know what? I was thinking about that yesterday. I was thinking about that. I was like, yo, those gamers who enjoy the disc-based, uh, collectors, they like their disc. They don't like the digital. Eventually, Microsoft is pretty much telling you what their vision is, what their plan is. That they're getting away from the disk base. They're going into that cloud, that whole digital feature type of era. They're bringing in a new era, okay? Even though they know the infrastructure is not there, but they're gaining that foothold. They want to gain that foothold and keep that large margin in that space, so that their competitors, they're going to have to catch up. They're going to have to catch up. So that's the whole competitiveness of this whole, cloud digital thing that's happening here. So it's interesting to think that you say that, because I was thinking about it yesterday. So, and I don't know if you guys collect the disc-based version of the game. How would you feel about that? Moving forward, let's say Xbox do not put out any disc-based consoles moving forward at all. So if there's any Xbox gamers here that's watching, how would you feel about that? Okay. All digital is the natural evolution. PE argued against that. You know what? Again, I'm going to reach out to PE, and again, hopefully he's doing well, and try to get him back into the conversation. I really hope he's doing well. Local says, what do you think of the new controller? Shake to wake and haptics. Again, like I shared earlier, I would love to shake and wake. This will be a controller I would pick up. It would, because I play Xbox games, so I would love to have that experience, just so that I can come on and be like, hey, I love the feel of it. It's if it's identical to the PlayStation 5 controller, hey, but to be able to get that experience on both sides, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Okay? I'm all for it. The Thicket says adorable is the term being used by all the gaming sites responding to this leak. Look, I can't control what other sites are saying. If they're saying that it's adorable, just like the console is adorable, the controller is adorable. It is what it is. I'm all about gaming, okay? And that's what my focus is. Loco says, it's a reactive development, rather, kind of like all companies did with the Wii. That's a good point. That's a good point. Let's talk about that. So I'm gonna make note of that, just like I made note two two statements you made, because we're gonna get into those discussions as well. But you know what? I agree. But I'm gonna give my thoughts on that. So please remind me if I don't come back to that, because I'm not writing anything down. The controller. Well, let's talk about that. The reactive development. If we're talking about the controller, so are you saying that this controller here, right, should already have had the haptic feedbacks? Like, when the PlayStation 5 controller came out, because think about it. Think about this. I don't know what you're doing. So me and Loco, right? We have a gaming company, right? Let's say if I'm Xbox and you're PlayStation, right? I have no clue what you're doing unless I put in a sting of like, hey, go there and, work for PlayStation, right? Get in the door and then report back to me, right? Because I want to know what you're doing. But realistically, that's not the case, So I come out with a controller and I say, here it is. And then you come out with a controller with the haptic feedbacks and all. Then I'm like scratching my head like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? Right? Because now me and my team is in the building. We're not outside. We in the building. We're like, dang, man. Loco is a few legs up, man. You got the haptic feedback and all that, functionality within this controller. And we only have certain functions in our controller. Man. So what do we do? How do I compete against that controller? Because now in the airways, hey, the PlayStation 5 controller, the experience is way better than the Xbox controller. I got to compete now. Holy cow. So me personally, I don't see nothing wrong with them putting in haptic feedback into their controller at this point. So now, now, but how do I make my controller even better? Right? So now that I have got the trade secrets or whatever, or if I have the information on your controller, Loco, I'm sitting in the boardroom with the thinker and or my team, and I'm like, yo, how can we make our controller even better? Because we got to compete, man. I got to compete against you. Got to make it better, man. If I'm understanding where you're coming from with this, it's exactly. If if they didn't care, they wouldn't make it. I'm just trying to quiet the noise, the nonsense of it, and it's just mind boggling. It's just mind boggling. For some of the stuff I read out on Twitter and other social media, and also even watching some of the podcasts. I watched some podcasts yesterday on this whole leak, and there's some diehard Xbox podcasts that was going in on this, like and they were just essing on PlayStation altogether. I'm like, come on, guys, are you guys really that? Do you really have to go there? It doesn't make sense, but that's them. Loco says, yeah, all digital will be the future, but will always be nice to have a choice for certain situations. I agree. That was also, thrown in the mix of the conversation. It's good to have choices. Exactly. It's, Microsoft is providing choices. That's a good thing. However, I am going to stand firm. And if there's any Xbox fanboys or fangirls in here, I am going to stand firm on what I've stated. Yes, choices are good, but when you put a subscription service in place and then you add value to it and make that subscription service available across other platforms, you are shooting yourselves in the foot, man. You Some people still think I'm crazy. I made that statement. People still think that I'm crazy and I don't know what I'm talking about. Don't believe me? Look at the Xbox Series X. Look at the numbers. Look at how the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series S is performing right now against its competitor. Now, I'm talking about at the time when the subscription service was announced, right? When it was announced, great. They're competing with their competitor with the subscription service. But when you put in day and date, my mind was blown. I was like, oh my goodness, Xbox is putting out value. That's awesome. Gamers are going to flock. They're going to come in the droves. They're going to be like, yo, I can get all the first party titles in this subscription service day and date. I'm not going to pick up an Xbox. For what? Dude, you have the consoles. You have the handhelds the handheld PCs that are out. You have select Samsung TVs. You have other platforms where Game Pass subscription service is available. You don't really need the console at all. Microsoft is telling you what they're doing. They're literally giving it to you. An all digital future is where we're headed. The cloud space, all that. We're going in a different direction. Just like Loco said, they are changing the game. They came out, they said, hey, we cannot compete with Sony and Nintendo in the console space. We're going to change the game. Is it good for gaming? Whatever your opinion is. Whatever your opinion is. If you think it's not good for gaming, I respect your opinion. If you think it's good for gaming, I respect your opinion. But make it make sense. Okay? Don't just come out and just throw out a bunch of nonsense and then trash the other. It doesn't make any logical sense to me. Okay? And I'm going to call a spade a spade. It is what it is. Again, I was told that I was crazy. I was told that, hey, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't. I have a business degree, but it doesn't take a person to have a business degree to understand what's going on here. It doesn't. Maybe I'm still crazy. I don't know. Maybe you guys are saying that you still not making any sense. I'm like, dude, in Microsoft eyes, it just it makes perfect sense. In their eyes, it makes perfect sense. In their fan base eyes, it makes perfect sense. Okay, fine. And here we are. Their consoles are not performing the way it should be performing. And then when it comes to the whole Redfall debacle, which Phil Spencer didn't even have to mention because it was about Redfall during the Kinda Funny podcast. He said it himself. We're not in the business to out console Sony and Nintendo. What are we talking about here? I never thought in a million years I would hear that from an executive. We're not here to out console. Then what are you doing in the console space? Well, they're obviously showing you right now that this information is leaked. They're still making consoles, but they're going in a different route. Hopefully I'm making sense, guys. Let me know if I'm still crazy. Back to the chat, and then we're gonna go down to the next item here. Loco says, yeah, oh, definitely, but if they didn't care, they wouldn't make it. It's just business. It's business at the end of the day. 100%. We can sit here and argue all day long about which console is better, which company is better, which game is better. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's business. It's whatever you prefer. If you prefer Microsoft, go for it. If you prefer Sony, go for it. If you prefer Nintendo, go for it. If you prefer PC, go for it. If you're like me and prefer them all, go for it. Because at the end of the day, it's business for them. They're laughing to the bank. They're eating lobster and steak. They're out flying on private jets. They're out with their kids in the best schools and blah, 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 etc., while we, little people down here, are doing this back and forth. While you pay for a game, you eat ramen noodles, they eat lobster and steak. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but that's the way I see it. It's business. The thinker says, then wanted to buy Nintendo, and we're going to get into that. So I'm going to stop right there. We're going to go ahead and scroll down some more. Let's see what else they have here. Now, guys, I don't know what this is. We already talked about the refresh console of the Xbox Series X. My question is why is there a Xbox Series S on the right side? Does anyone know why that is? I guess I just have to read, right? I don't know why they have that there, because we do know they came out with a black Xbox Series S, and I think it's a 1 terabyte. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I don't understand why this is still here. Now, we do know that there was some confirmation that the Xbox Series S is their main console, but still, I don't know why that's in the picture. to me, unless they're doing something different with it. I don't know. That's insane. So we're just gonna move on down here. So launch timelines. This is, oh my goodness, this is, why did they leak this stuff? Whoever leaked it. I'm not saying Microsoft leaked it. I'm not saying the FTC leaked it. I wasn't there. I don't know who leaked it, but this is bad. Wow. So the Elwood 1 terabyte launch is launching at $299. Now this is FY25. So let's go back. FY24, they had the CBOW launch at $69.99. So that's the controller. Okay. Then we go to FY25. At the end of August, the Elwood 1 terabyte launches at $299. So is that this console here? And then you have at the end of October of FY25, you have the Brooklyn 2 terabyte launch. That's the Xbox Series X refresh, I guess. And it launches at $499. Wait a minute. Okay, wait. No, that's right, right? Okay. Yeah. So $499. Wow. And before we move on, guys, and get your thoughts on that, again, we're going to get into the piece where Phil says, we're going to, show you guys the real plans later. But as per this leak here, for the documents that were provided, these were the launch times, the launch windows for these items. The controller, the 2 consoles. So I don't know if that's going to change or if that's going to stay the same. We just gotta have to wait and see. Now, this podcast has been sponsored by Sweet Tarts. No, I'm just lying. Let me keep going. But I love myself some Sweet Tarts. Let's keep it moving. Okay, so it seems like there was a correction here. It says we originally wrote that the CBOW Game Pass will have gyro support, but that will require a gyroscope in addition to the accelerometer we're seeing. And 3-axis accelerometer can detect basic movements for things like lift to wake, but adding a gyro to measure 3 additional axes is required for gyro aiming. For example, the Sony 6-axis for the PS3. Did I say that right? I don't know. All right. I wish I had a back button, guys. Now, before we get into this one, okay, back to the chat. The thinker says, them wanting to buy Nintendo, they just want to be the premier gaming company. Early stages of Ready Player One. Yes, forget this gaming. Give me the VR bodysuit already. I am on the same page with you, the thinker. I am ready to have that experience because that's where we're aiming for. I believe so. Local says, yep, 101. Or he just says IOI. You told me last time what that meant. Was that laugh out loud or something? Let me know, Loco. Loco says, that's what Microsoft reminds me of, the bad guys in Ready Player One. big corporations. MyTV has an Xbox app. Local also says, I saw it the other day in a new update. I think it says, stop being Switzerland. This is America. Pick a side, tribal warfare, yeehaw. Dude, you know, I'm the guy. Nah. Look, hey, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I just can't pick a side unless you give me a reason. Bring me something. If I'm sitting at the table and Microsoft and Sony is pitching something to me, you gotta blow me away, man. Blow me away. And if I had to pick a side, I can't play both, right? I had to pick a side. Show me what you got. Show me what you got. Okay? And then I'll pick a side. And then it's all good from there. All right, man. Now, I read this yesterday and I gave my thoughts on it. I want to read it again, you know, and get you guys' thoughts on this. The thinker says the court is saying Microsoft is to blame for this leak. Can it be considered a leak then, or just marketing strat? Oh, let's read this first, and then that's interesting. Microsoft addresses the huge Xbox leak. So let's read Phil Spencer's memo. We're going to scroll down here. We're going to get to the actual memo. I don't want to read anything else but the memo. Here's the memo in full. I'm not taking anything out of context. I'm going to give it to you raw, real, and uncut of what I think is being said here. And I quote, team, today, comma, several documents submitted in the court proceedings related to our proposed acquisition of Activision Blizzard were unintentionally disclosed. So when I think unintentionally, it was done by mistake. What do you guys think? What do you guys get from that? He says were unintentionally disclosed. So, and another question will be, then who disclosed it? Because if the FTC is stating that they didn't do it, and they're blaming Microsoft, saying that they did it, so who unintentionally disclosed this information? Does Microsoft know who did it? Right? I know this is disappointing, even if many of the documents are well over a year old and our plans have evolved. And that's what I was talking about earlier, where you're in the business and you put out a roadmap of what you plan on doing from this time period to this time period. Sometimes things change, right? It changes. It evolves into something different. Right? Because you're always coming back to the table to discuss, like, okay, here's where we are right now. What do you have, thinker? Thank you. Local, what do you have? Okay, where are we at, D Nice, on this? John Doe, where, blah, blah, blah. Okay, what are you guys' opinion? Can we make this any better? Since all the pieces of the puzzle are falling into place and it's working, can we make it any better? Right? Can we evolve? Can we do something different? Here's my thoughts. What do you guys think of this? Let's continue. I also know we all take the confidentiality of our plans and our partners' information very seriously. My question to Phil, do you? This leak obviously is not us living up to that expectation. This leak, now he's responding to the previous statement he just made. I also know we all take the confidentiality of our plans and our partners' information very seriously. Fine. But then when you say this leak obviously is not us living up to that expectation. So you're telling your employees that you're not living up to the expectation of taking your partner's information very seriously. I said this in one of my streams way back when the Counterfundy podcast came out. I don't think Phil Spencer need to be the spokesman for Xbox. You're telling me that you're not living up to that expectation. Okay, why? Let's keep going, guys. Let's continue to read. We will learn from what happened and be better going forward. You keep up. It's almost like he's saying that they did do it. In a way, he's telling his employees that, hey, we jacked up. We jacked up, because there's nowhere in any of those statements that they are blaming anyone else. They're not blaming the FTC. We're going to get to the rest of it. They're not blaming anyone else. Am I perceiving it wrong? Let me know. We're going to read the rest of this paragraph and we'll go to the chat. We all put incredible amounts of passion and energy into our work. 100%. I believe that 100%. However, I'm starting to rethink my position because of what was stated earlier. I understand what you're saying there, but there's a problem. There's an issue here. And this is never how we want that hard work to be shared with the community. That said, there's so much more to be excited about. You see how he flipped the script? There's so much more to be excited about, so everybody can forget about what he said up here. And when we're ready, we'll share the real plans with our players. So this paragraph alone is telling me that this information got leaked and you're taking responsibility for the leak, because you're not blaming anyone else. This is what I'm getting for this. Let me know if I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm jacked up. I'm perceiving things wrong. Let's go to the chat. The Thinker says, it's also on the verge. Microsoft leaks its own Xbox documents, Court says. Loco says, why would they send that internal email if it was on purpose? Great point. Great point. So the Thinker says, right? Can it be considered a leak then, or just a marketing strategy? Why would they send that internal email if it was on purpose? Okay, Loco. This is interesting. I love it. So what you guys think, man? So far, I mean, this is coming from the man himself. I'm not reading no one else's article. I'm not reading no one else's opinion. This is coming from the man I love going to the horse himself or herself. It's right here. This is what he says. So how do you damage control that? How? How do you even defend this? This is serious business, right? It's almost like they're saying, "Hey, we jacked up. We're not living up to the expectation of taking things seriously." Or this matter here. I can't speak for other matters, but for this matter here, that they have not taken it serious. This is crazy. Let's keep going. And we are coming to the final paragraph of this memo. In closing, I appreciate all the work that you pour into into Team Xbox to surprise and delight our players. In the days and weeks ahead, let's stay focused on what we can control. Continuing the amazing success of Starfield, dude, I'm having a nightmare right now while I'm awake. The upcoming launch of the incredible and accessible Forza Motorsport, which I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to Forza Motorsport, okay? And continuing to build games, services, and devices that millions of players can enjoy. We get it. We all understand that, Phil. We get it. We understand. We get it. But when is this gonna stop? When is the apologies are going to stop? What are we gonna wake up to tomorrow? Dude, my Microsoft stock has gone down. I don't know. Ever since this leak happened, my stock has gone down. I lost money. I don't know if this is the reason for it, but my stock is... Thinker, help me out, man. You are the stock guy. Could this be the reason? Could be part of the reason? Part of the reason my stock has gone down. This is crazy. And here we go, back to the controller. We're not going to go too much into this. You know, we talked about the controller a little bit. Again, I think it's great for gaming. But you know the fanboys are going to come out and they're going to have a field day with this. Microsoft new Xbox controller. And you look at the word that they put in the title. Borrows great ideas from Stadia, Steam, and Sony. Now, I can guarantee you 100% of the time, if this was the other way around, if it was Sony doing this, the fanboys on the other side would be out in full force. Look at Sony copying Microsoft. I don't stop. But it's okay. It's okay. Now I'm speaking, on these fanboys since I've read a lot of stuff out on social media, but it's okay for them to cheer this on and say, this is good, this is good, this is good. But if it was the other way around, then it would be bad. I don't understand the logic behind it. I just don't get it. But to me, I'm going to stand firm. I think this is good for gaming. So gamers can have that experience. So it's whatever you think. It's your opinion. Again, it will be the end of the world. It will be the end of gaming. If the if the other side did the same thing? You're copying Sony, or you're copying Microsoft, or you're copying Nintendo. Dude, there's how does that benefit you guys in any way, sitting back, going back and forth with each other over what these companies are doing? And guess what? They're not changing. They're not changing at all. If that controller comes, guess what? The Sony ponies that don't get it, they're gonna go back. They're gonna go back and forth. They're gonna say, "Oh, you copy Xbox. You copy PlayStation. Blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah." Guess what? That controller's still coming out. So you spend all that time wasting your energy going back and forth with a bot about a controller, and the controller still comes out. And if it was the other way around, guess what? Sony is putting out the controller. So what did you gain from that? It didn't benefit you in any way, shape, or form. Arguing back and forth over a controller or a console, I don't know. I just find it funny. It's just funny. Now, we all know the story about Nintendo, but it seems like there was a little bit more that we could talk about when it comes to Microsoft wanting to acquire Nintendo. So let's get into it. This is Loco. Thinker, you brought this up. But before I do that, let's do this. Let's go back. Let's go back to what Loco stated earlier. They say they have a real plan. So does that mean this was a facade for the deal to go through? That's a very good question. I would like to see what these real plans are. He clearly stated that. So, and again, things evolve. So since the submission of those documents to the court, have they really involved? I mean, did they change something with the controller? Did they change something with the consoles that has been shown? We're gonna find out, right? They talked about a handheld. What is that? What is that about? Keyboard, mouse, all this stuff. That stuff is nothing new under the sun. These companies, they put out, their peripherals, for their consoles, et cetera, et cetera. And that's okay, right? It's okay. But we already know the direction that, Microsoft is going. So I don't know if it was a facade or not, but I can see your point. I can see your point. These real plans, because think about it. You already have it. And you're like, okay, court, here's our plan. Here's our roadmap to 2030, right? Here's our roadmap. This is what we're coming out with, blah, 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 blah. So my question to Phil Spencer and his team, what are your real plans? And how much of what you have already shown, or what has been leaked out, how much of that has changed? Is it going to be a cylinder Xbox? Are you going to change the name of the Xbox? Are you going to take the Xbox Series S away now? Are you going to come out with a handheld, or are you going to come out with a handheld? Are you going to do away with the keyboard? Is the keyboard going to be a transformer? It's going to transform into a controller, and then you can unfold it and make it out to a keyboard. What are the plans what are the real plans? So again, we just have to wait, sit back, and enjoy the show, because I am looking forward to see what these real plans are from the Xbox side. So I'm not gonna get all, tied up in a knot about, a lot of this stuff. We just have to wait, just have to wait and see. So Microsoft, Phil Spencer says acquiring Nintendo would be a career moment. It would, guys. It would. Trust me. If Microsoft comes to the table, now I'm gonna talk about the good and the ugly on this. If Microsoft was to come to the table, now they're playing this wait game, right? Until Nintendo just says, I'm gonna give you guys the green light. Microsoft come to the table with an offer that Nintendo can't refuse, then they would take the necessary steps. Even though it's a Japanese company, they would take the necessary steps, right? And go through that entire process so that Microsoft can acquire Nintendo. Now, would this be good for gaming? Yes and no. Here's why I think it would be good for gaming. It would be good for gaming because now you have, the Xbox fan base, right? Or those who have an Xbox, to be able to join Nintendo games on a more powerful console. That would be awesome. But at the same time, there's a lot that come with that, right? When it comes to, performance, with these games be able to perform, blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera. That's just something that we just have to wait and see. That's why I believe that it will be good for, gaming. Now, will it be bad for gaming? Yes. Like, come on, because now you really don't have any options when it comes, other options when it comes to console. Okay. Because you think about it, Microsoft eventually, I'm just going to say it, eventually is going to do away with the console. I mean, if they do a digital, they'll stick with the digital, right? But yes, the Nintendo games will come to Game Pass, and then, you'll be able to play Nintendo games, et cetera, et cetera. But let's just say something happens to Microsoft. Let's just say something happens. Now you don't have an option. You have Sony. Nintendo belongs to Microsoft now. If those games don't perform well, or something happens, I'm just saying, okay? Don't come at me too hard. I'm just saying. Something happens to Microsoft where these games don't perform the way they need to be performing, right? Because Microsoft is already having issues with some of their games the way they're performing. Then what do you do? What do you do? I don't think that would be good at all. I mean, I'm pretty sure other people have opinions on, if it would be good for gaming or if it would be bad for gaming. I know the diehards are just going to stick to one side. They're going to say it's going to be good for gaming. They're not going to go to the other side of the coin or the other side of the fence. They're just going to stick here. But then when stuff go downhill, they want to damage control, or they want to come out in full force and defend it. Like, no, there's no way to defend that, okay? Because you take these beloved IPs and put it up under the Xbox umbrella and it just doesn't work out, then we have a huge problem. That's a big problem at all. I mean, not at all, but that would be a huge problem. So let's go ahead. Let's take a look at this. Okay, so Microsoft Gaming CEO Phil Spencer would really like to buy Nintendo someday. In an August 2020 email to two top Microsoft marketing executives, Spencer wrote that Nintendo is the prime asset for us in gaming. and that getting Nintendo would be a career moment, and I honestly believe a good move for both companies. If Microsoft was able to acquire Nintendo, Phil Spencer can walk off in the sunset. That's exactly what he's going to do, because he's not going to want to go through the ramifications if something happens with that type of big acquisition. If something was to happen, he's not going to want to be a part of it. He's going to be like, hey, man, stocks are going to probably go through the roof, maybe. Yes, there's going to be a lot of upset gamers, especially the Nintendo fan base. They're going to be upset if Microsoft was able to acquire Nintendo. You know it's going to happen, right? He's going to walk off. He's going to get on his horse and walk off. I mean, and gallop off in the sunset. I'm telling you, this is because I'm surprised he's still around right now with, with the way Microsoft is operating. So I guess he's like, no, we're doing fine. I'm going to stick it out to the very end. I'm going to go down with the ship. I don't know what's going through his head right now, but I guess I can honestly say that Phil can't catch a break. He can't. I'm surprised he doesn't have all gray hair right now. So what do you guys think about that? The emails were revealed as part of the tranche of leaked documents from the FTC versus Microsoft lawsuit. One executive, Takeshi Numoto, asked Spencer and Chris Capicella in an email titled Random Thought about why Microsoft isn't finding acquisition targets like Nintendo a more attractive way to increase our consumer exposure and relevance. So I don't know who's Takeshi Numoto. Is Takeshi Numoto, does he work for Microsoft? At the time, Microsoft was in discussions to acquire TikTok, and Numoto didn't feel it would be the best match. So there's the email, guys. I mean, I really don't want to read all this. But let's take this quote here. Well, let's read a little bit more. I've had numerous conversations with the LT Nintendo about tighter collaborations and feel like if any US company would have a chance with Nintendo, we are probably in the best position, Spencer wrote. Wow. So you mean to tell me Phil Spencer is stating that Microsoft is in the best position to acquire Nintendo over a Japanese company? So are you talking money then? So that you when you come to the table, you have to give Nintendo everything that he asked for. There is no way around it. There is no way around it. Period. You have to give Nintendo everything that they asked for. You making a statement that they are in the best position to acquire Nintendo. Okay. He added that Microsoft board of directors has seen the full write-up on Nintendo and Valve, and they are fully supportive on either if opportunities arises, as am I. So it could come at any time, guys. It can come at any time. So whenever Nintendo decides to say, hey, we want to get out the gaming market, the console market, whatever it is, whatever segment they give up, right? We're done. We're willing to sell. We're willing to go through whatever process to get the sale done. Microsoft. There it is. Spencer is pretty much saying that, hey, we're going to support this all the way to the very end. We're not going to change our mind. So Nintendo, whenever you're ready, we'll be here. It's pretty much what they're telling Nintendo. We'll be here. Spencer also shared that the company was in fairly active M&A discussions around ZeniMax Media, which resulted in a deal that was announced a month later, and Warner Brothers Interactive, which did not go through. Dude, just imagine if Microsoft would acquire Warner Brothers Interactive. Oh my goodness. That would have been insane. Why? Microsoft just want to acquire everybody. They're like, dude, we want everything. Oh my goodness. I wouldn't be surprised if they come out and say, we want Sony. Sony, we want you too as well. What do you want? We'll buy you out right now. Previous documents from the case revealed that Microsoft has considered acquiring many other studios, including Bungie, now owned by Sony, Sega, and Square Enix. Now, we know about that. The most recent batch of documents leaked a new design of the Xbox Series X and some unannounced games from Bethesda. All right. Wow. So to sum this up, Xbox is pretty much stating, hey, we're still in support of the acquisition. Nintendo, whenever you're ready to go, just reach out to us. That's what I got from this. Okay, what did you guys get from it? Back to the chat. Loco says, yes, it will be the end of all things. The Thinker says, Microsoft gaming revenue doesn't drive their stock. It only represents 2% of their total stream. Loco says their original goal with Xbox was to have Windows-based entertainment system in everyone's home to accommodate the PC. The Thinker says they can't even get the Activision finalized. And here's the thing that I don't understand, that gamers out there continue to state, even the diehards are still stating, oh, Xbox has Activision Blizzard King. No, they do not. They do not. The purchase has not been finalized. What do you guys and gals do not understand? It hasn't been finalized. Once it's been, unless I missed something, show me where it has been finalized. It's written in stone that Microsoft now has Activision Blizzard King. Show it to me. It has not been finalized yet. And as soon as everybody signs those documents, the deal is done. That's when they'll come out and say, hey, here it is. It's done. Call of Duty and all those other freaking amazing games now belong to Xbox. So, oh, it's a done deal. I'm like, how's it a done deal? It's not. It's not. Just wait until it's finalized. And then you can come out and say, hey, yep, now it's a done deal. We're golden. I don't get it. It's me, guys. It's me. I'm the crazy one. Thickers also says, just like Billy Gates buying up all the... It's just like Billy Gates buying up all the farmland. They want to control the hot pockets we eat while we play on Game Pass. And back to Loco's point, that is true. The original goal with Xbox was to have a Windows-based entertainment system in everybody's home to accommodate their PC. And that's what they're doing, man. They're doing it. They're doing it, man. Oh, man. Is there anything else? I'm at the email where Microsoft reacts to PC. All right. I know you guys have probably already saw this, but let's just throw this in the mix as well. Microsoft reacts to Sony PS5 reveal. We expect that we will have 30% advantage on GPU performance. One unredacted bit reads. And I'm going to give my thoughts on this, okay? Last night, the biggest Xbox, whatever. We all know it. According to an executive, well, let's just read the email. Can we bring it up? Here it is. This is Nadella, whatever his name is. His response: "This is really great to hear, Phil. Neither of us have announced pricing, right? Thanks." And here's Phil. "Even as I type this, I know I shouldn't, but I can't help myself." This is typical Phil, dude. Phil shouldn't be the spokesman, dude. I'm telling you. Okay. The man said he couldn't help himself. We've all lived with 7 years of starting off a generation with a price and performance and messaging disadvantage to PS4 with Xbox One. I have to admit, this morning when I woke up, knowing the PS5 reveal was today, that the stress level was higher than normal. Now, after almost 12 hours of soaking in their unveil, taking apart their specs, and looking at the community responses, so we know he pays attention to the community responses, right? So on both sides, he's paying attention to Xbox, he's paying attention to PlayStation, and etc., right? I just wanted to say that I'm proud of our team. My man is showing up saying, hey, woo, woo. My man had Ric Flair going all day long. Woo, yes, let's get it. Let's continue. We have a better product than Sony does. We're going to get there. Not just on hardware, but equally important on the software platform and services on top of the hardware. The arrogance, the confidence. I love it. Yes, Phil. Yes. Yes. You guys heard the statement. It's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog. We're going to get there. Because the proof is in the pudding. We're going to get there. I felt the feedback from the BOD discussion on being too confident, and maybe this just reinforced that perception. I get the need to be humbly confident, but today was a good day for us. He's pretty much telling you, yes, I get it. I know you guys want me to be humble, blah, 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 blah. I want me to bring down, but I'm confident that we have the better product. We're going to get there. We haven't won anything. And I know we have hard discussion about pricing, P&L, investments, etc. This mail isn't trying to scoop any of that. Those discussions really matter. But we can take confidence in our product truth here. And I do believe any conversation needs to start with believing in that. This was a good day for Xbox. Thanks for indulging me, Bill. And then it has more information here about the PS5 specs and reveal, etc., etc. We're not going to go into that. Does Xbox have the most powerful console? Please answer that question in the chat. Does Microsoft Xbox segment has the most powerful console to date? Please answer that for me. D Knight says, I see Phil Spencer leaving Microsoft in a few years. I agree. I agree to that. Okay? I agree. I'm gonna put it here. If there's any Xbox fanboys watching, if Phil Spencer doesn't leave within the next 10 years, if he doesn't leave within the next 10 years, and I'm looking at it less than that, right? So I'm gonna throw out 10. If he doesn't leave within the next 10 years, if I'm still here, alive on this planet, for each generation console that comes out from Xbox, I will buy 5 Xbox diehards their console. I will pay for it. I know some of you may be like, dude, what are you talking about? You said that's silly. No. Because I don't see this working. I don't see this working out, dude. I think Phil Spencer is going to spend enough time at Xbox to make sure everything is in place, and he's out. My man is gone, dude. My man is out the door. Within 10 years, he's out the door. He's gone. He's going to take whatever he gets, and once it's enough for him, my man is out the door. He's gone. This is a legally binding contract. Y'all heard it from me. 5 Xbox. Because watch what happens. I wouldn't be surprised if Phil checks out early. Trust me. This is silly. Because you have to make sure that this vision that you have in place, it has to happen. It has to happen. They're banking on Game Pass. They're banking on cloud. The infrastructure has to be there within the next 10 years to make sure that whatever projections that you have come to fruition. The numbers. It has to be there. If it's not there, you're going to lose. You're going to lose. You're going to freaking lose. And to talk about this 100 million followers, that's doable. That is doable. If you acquire Nintendo, that is doable. That is doable. You have to put out a quality product from here on out to acquire that number. You have to. You can't get rid of day and date now. You can't get rid of it. You can't. So all your first party titles have to come to Game Pass day and date. It has to. Because once you get rid of that, you're done. So you kind of set yourself up to either be successful or you're going to fail. That's just my opinion, guys. That's just my thoughts on this. I'm looking at it from a business perspective. You may say, hey, you don't know what you're talking about. Okay? Continue to think that. Continue to think that I don't know what I'm talking about. I guarantee right now, because businesses take risk. They take risk all the time. Okay? But if that risk ends up being too great, you're going to lose. So, what's his face? What's his name? The Xbox top guy, Satya Nadella. And he knows this. He's the man. He's the top guy. He owns Microsoft, right? So, well, he's the president, I believe, right? I'm pretty sure he has full trust and faith and confidence in Phil Spencer and his team to get the job done, without a doubt. Okay, not saying that it can't be done, but based on what I read here in this email, that you have this big ass arrogance, this ego, this confident. The Xbox Series X right now is the most powerful console on the market. Yes, it doesn't matter how big your freaking console is or how powerful your console is, you can still lose the fight. You're number 3 in the console space. Number 3 in the console space. You have the audacity to come out, Phil Spencer himself, we're not in the business to out-console Sony and Nintendo. We're number 3. We lost the best generation yet. PS4, Xbox One. You come out with the Series X, the most powerful console, and look where your numbers are at. You have developers come out and say it's difficult to develop games on the console. There's a problem there. Something is wrong. Then you have developers to come out and say it's easy to develop on the PlayStation 5. Something's wrong there. So I don't know if people have come back and say, well, Phil Spencer, you remember that letter you sent, that email you sent? How confident you was that we have a better product? Yes, you do. But it's not working. The console is there, guys. The console is there for the developers. You can't really blame the console. But if the developers are having issues developing the game on the console, you got to come back to the boardroom. You got to come back and say, wait a minute, what's the problem here? What is the issue? We have the most dude, I put out an email telling people that we have a better product. And that is true. That is true. Well, actually, no, it's not true. Okay? You have a powerful console. Doesn't necessarily mean your console is better than your competitors, because look how Sony PlayStation 5 is performing. And they're selling like hotcakes. That's insane. And your numbers are down. Way down. Okay? And the selling piece of it, you lost. In regard to performance, it can go either way, because certain games perform better on the Xbox console and certain games perform better on the PlayStation 5. But you're still losing. How? You said it yourself, Phil. I know he's not watching this, but you said it yourself. You're not in the market, or you're not in the business, unquote, you're not in the business to out-consoling Sony and Nintendo. Then this whole freaking email here is irrelevant. It's out the window. It's gone. And this is what you do. You put all this in here about the PlayStation 5. Look at this. You put the specs and you put everything in. Well, whoever put this in here, put it in the email. Put it in there. And look at the difference between the two. The Xbox Series X is a beast. What's going on? Am I crazy, guys? All right, I must be crazy. It's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog. And you're getting your butt whipped. You already admitted defeat. So you change the game. Like Loco said, You changed the game because you knew that, hey, we have a problem here. And those people, those investors were at the table like, I mean, they was there. They had to be there. And like, Phil, what is this, man? You shared with us that this was going to take off. You shared with us that this was going to power dreams. Yes, of your Xbox bots. Yes, because they're gonna fight tooth and nail for you. They're gonna be there 100% of the time for you, and that's fine. That's okay. But you have lost this generation when it comes to the console because you have already admitted defeat. So this email right here is irrelevant. It's out the door now. It's gone. Because if I was an investor, I would be pissed right now. I would be pissed. I'm like, look, dude, I invested in this, and Sony PlayStation right now its sales is up 200%. The Xbox Series X you can't find them in the store. Nobody can find one. You maybe can find a refurbished one, maybe. What's going on, man? This is crazy. Let me know if I'm crazy, guys. This is crazy. Back to the chat. Loco said, if Nintendo brought a powerful system, they would win the entire. Yes. I 100% agree. Well, actually, you know what? I'm going to take that back. I 99.99% agree. Because I always leave that room for that 1% because you still have competition, right? So Sony can put out something even more powerful. Even Microsoft, they can say, you know what, we're gonna rejoin. We're gonna come back in the console space. It's just I don't understand it. But at this point in time, yes, Nintendo, they put out a more powerful console. I mean, even Nintendo is, correct me if I'm wrong, Nintendo is still outselling both consoles, Xbox and Sony PlayStation. Correct me if I'm wrong. The Nintendo Switch is a beast. I mean, still selling. Even though it's on the decline, I'm pretty sure Nintendo knows that. That's why there's talk about the new console, okay? Because the Nintendo Switch came out when, 2017? Or maybe earlier than that? I don't know. I think it was 2017. And they haven't come out with a console since. Because the Nintendo Switch is selling. It's good. You know? But if they come out with a more powerful console, Sony's going to have to compete. And if Xbox is coming out with consoles still, they're going to have to compete. Oh, man, that's crazy. All right, we're going to get out of that. Man, we have been at it for almost 2 hours strong with this. And then I'm going to sum it up with my thoughts. Actually, you know what? Let's go back to this real quick. I think I forgot to mention something. What was here? There was something here that I wanted to speak on. I think I may have covered what I wanted to talk about. But that was real. That was real brave. Spill. Now, there's nothing wrong with being confident in your product. I stated that earlier. But the consoles have been out for what, almost 3 years now? 3 years. Something. I mean, there had to be a conversation before the second year and be like, yo, you know, we understand the whole pandemic issue, blah blah blah. But dude, that's over now. You know, you can't I can't be a spokesman and come out and say that we lost. What'd he say? Unquote. I pay attention, and people are saying that if we just focus on making great games, it would just change the market share. Phil Spencer, it's a start. It's a start. Look at Start. I don't even want to say the name of the game. But anyways, I'm not going to be that petty. Look at Starfield. You have to start somewhere, dude. That's a brand new IP. And it's getting the praises that it's getting. Think about that. If you focus and build great games, you are going to see gamers flock. They're going to flock to your ecosystem. They're going to flock. They're going to come in and say, yes. Did you see Indiana Jones? Indiana Jones? Did you see Perfect Dark? That looks amazing. This is freaking awesome. I'm going to go get me an Xbox. Or I'm going to subscribe to Game Pass. They're going to flock, dude. Of course, you're not going to see a major turnaround overnight, but it's a start. Oh my goodness. I would have never said that. Trust me. Me as an exec, man. Oh my goodness. You're telling your people that you're giving up. You're throwing in the flag for them. Here's the flag. Bloop. We're giving up on the consoles. Bloop. I was so confident in the beginning. Yes, I was. I'm sorry, guys. I put too much confidence in, with what we had. I'm very proud of you, though, for all the blood and sweat and tears that you put into these products. Yes, I am very proud of you. And here are the results. Oh, my. Oh, my. All right, two more things, guys, and then we're going to sum this up. I don't want to keep you guys too long. It's still early over here. It's only 7 o'clock here. But I don't want to bore you guys too long, but I want to cover two more things here. And this one here, Microsoft documents leak new Bethesda games, including an Oblivion remaster. I don't even know what this is. I don't know what this is. Elder Scrolls, the original Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. So they're planning on doing a remaster? Who still plays that game? I don't know. I have no say in it. I don't play Elder Scrolls, so I have no say. But I don't understand the remaster version of it. I mean, this game is old, right? Okay, so here's what I wanted to bring up. All right, so I don't know how the quarters work, guys. Help me out here. But before we get into this, let's go back to the chat. The thinker says someone record this offer from JK legal binding contract. Five Xbox. I'll pick them all at random. I'll pick them all. I'm a man of my word. 5 Xbox. Whatever new console that comes out. If I mean that doesn't even no. Let's make it more interesting. That's a stupid deal. If Phil Spencer does not leave Xbox within the next 10 years, he has to leave. For the next 5 years, I will pay for any standard edition game that you want for the next 5 years. If he doesn't leave within the next 10 years, 5. Matter of fact, let's make it even more interesting. 10. 10 of you. Let's make it even more interesting. It won't be the same 10. Because that would be stupid. To me, that would be stupid. 10 of you. 10 of you I will pick randomly. Let's go. I don't even know if that makes sense. But let's go. Now here's the ZeniMax management forecast. And here are the games that are coming out in, I guess, FY23 and 24. You have Doom Year Zero and DLC. Project Kestrel. Elder Scrolls Online expansion. And Project Platinum. And then for FY24, you have Elder Scrolls 6. You have Project Kestrel expansion. You have a licensed IP game, Fallout 3 Remaster, Elder Scrolls Online expansion, Ghostwire Tokyo sequel, and Dishonored 3 and Doom Year Zero DLC. Okay. And notice you guys at the top it says confidential for discussion purposes only. Yeah, I mean there's a lot of okay, so the Doom Year Zero and DLC, that is a planned title. The Elder Scrolls 6 is a planned title. So all the other games are coming out within that fiscal year. If I'm reading this correctly. Because I don't know how their fiscal year thing works. So I may have it all wrong when it comes to that piece of it. Because they have fiscal year 21, they have Starfield, then they have Redfall, Ghostwire Tokyo, and some other games. I don't know. It's sad, man. It's very sad that they leaked this stuff. Let's just go back to the chat. There are number 3, but want everyone to follow their direction. But they shot themselves in the foot with the Series S, even if their Series X is more powerful because of parity. I agree. Nintendo needs to bring something that competes power-wise and really make the companies work for it. Exactly. Then it would be a competition again. I'm rooting for Nintendo. I'm looking forward to what they have to reveal here soon with the new console. Local also says 4 years he will be gone. So you're saying within 4 years Phil Spencer is out the door. So within 10 years, 10 years. So that means Phil Spencer has to leave the company after 10 years. Then, I will be for the next 5 years, I will be picking 10 Xbox, and I will purchase any standard version of a game for you. I stand on my word. You know what? That's it. We're gonna conclude here, and I'm gonna give you my thoughts. Just my summary of what we talked about here. Okay, the leaks. The leaks are bad for business. We all know that. When it comes to it doesn't matter what company, when it comes to their video games or whatever product, that they plan on putting out. When it comes to the leaks, it's very bad for business because once it comes out, that influence hits it, and then it can hurt sales. It can either increase sales, um, potential sales, or it can hurt potential sales, right? So, what do you guys think about that when it comes to the leaks? Do you think it's bad for business, or do you don't think it's bad for business? Me personally, I think it's bad. So all these Microsoft document leaks, it's just horrible. It's just horrible. So we know everything. Now, when it comes to Phil Spencer, and he's making, he's putting out the memo to his employees, his teams. It's good to, talk to your people, but there's going to come a time where your people are going to say, you know what, Phil, come on, man. Come on. Come on, dude. I mean, I mean, if it was me, man, I'd be like, look, I'm tired of the apologies, man. It's always something, one thing after another. You know, some days it's great. We come into office, we cheering Xbox on, and then something like this happens. You know, and I know, at no fault of the employees, but when you put out a memo like that, it's like you're telling on yourself, like, hey, it was unintentionally done. You didn't blame anyone else. Kudos. So you're saying pretty much that you guys failed at your responsibility in protecting confidential information. That's huge, man. That's a crazy no. Phil Spencer, again, I will not let Phil Spencer be the spokesman for Xbox because I feel that he's doing more harm than good. This is just my thought, my opinion. I know the Xbox are going to say, hell, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. And that's okay. That's okay. But look where we're at today. Look where we're at today. Okay? Because I'm going to tell you right now, Xbox would have more subscribers, Game Pass subscribers, more gamers, period, on their platform in their ecosystems with all the shenanigans if they did not happen. If Xbox will put out quality, focus on quality, I guarantee Xbox would be successful. It would be successful. Oh, man. I don't think there's anything else to say at this point. I really don't. The digital future is coming. The cloud thing is coming. It's coming. Okay? They pretty much, in the leaked documents, you got a all digital Xbox Series X coming. The disk-based version, I don't see it in Xbox's future. I think they're done with the disk-based version. It's done. That's something we talked about in the past. It was even brought up, will this be Xbox's last console? Phil Spencer did come out and say, hey, we are still going to be making consoles in the future. Right here, all we see is all digital console. So, will Sony follow suit? Who knows? Will Nintendo follow suit? Who knows? Right? We're just going to have to wait and see. Okay? Will consoles go away eventually? But no time soon. I don't think the consoles will go away at all. But eventually. We just have to wait and see. And hopefully I'll be around long enough to see that, happen. So that's my thoughts on this, guys. I just want to get this off my radar. I wanted to talk about it during the podcast this weekend, but I haven't reached out to the thinker to see if he wanted to do it. I just wanted to get it done and get it over with. It's been talked about. We're just gonna have to wait and see. I thought I saw something new come out on, or one of you guys sent me something on the the whole Activision Blizzard deal with hold on. I'll have to go back and take a look at it. So that's gonna be interesting. The CMA. It's gonna be interesting. You know what the CMA is gonna do. You know, with Microsoft and their deal, so they can put this whole ABK deal to bed. But we'll see. We'll see. Um, tomorrow, we are going to live stream. We're going to jump into some Resident Evil 4 separate ways. So I'm going to make sure that I have that downloaded and ready to go. I'm going to make sure that I have all gremlins out of my system, right? I'm going to make sure I don't feed them out to midnight. What I'm talking about is to make sure that all my settings are good, that you guys can hear me loud and clear. We don't have any issues, anything like that. Oh man, Retro Gaming King. Welcome to the stream, man. Man, you're coming up on the end of the stream. But if you want to go back and watch it, you can. You know, we just talked about, you know, this whole Microsoft deal. I think what Microsoft is doing, it is good for gaming based on the direction that they're going. It is good for gaming. I think they need to do better at protecting their stuff. Okay, because this is not good for them to leak their stuff. I mean, if they did leak their stuff, they need their quality control. Something's going on there. That needs to be fixed. Even though I say it's good for gaming, what I mean by that is because there are gamers out there that likes what Microsoft is doing, and you want to remain competitive in that space, right? However, you know, you're going to have differences of opinions from all sides, and that's okay as long as those opinions make sense. You know, we can come to the table to agree to disagree. Again, you know, my stomach turns every time I hear again these Xbox and these ponies that don't get it. You know, they go back and forth about nonsense. But, you know, I give much respect to those ponies and to those Xbox who do get it, who understands it. Much respect, because that's where I want to have the conversation. Okay? You know, to be able to come to the table and hear them go back and forth and debate. But at the end of the day, they show respect. Like, hey, it is what it is. Get in the boxing ring. You throw a few punches. The ponies may win. The Xbox may win. Right? Get the arguments out there. You know, and enjoy that conversation. But at the end of the day, it's you are the consumer. You are the consumer at the end of the day. Xbox and Sony and Nintendo have to present a product to you. Okay? They did a lot of investment in their product lineup. Now they're trying to sell their product to you. You have the power of the purse. Okay? The wallet, whatever you want to call it. Okay? And if you don't like the product, you're not going to buy it. If you like the product, you're going to buy it. Okay? But both those companies, they compete against each other. They have to show up. Okay? But again, like I said, at the end of the day, while they argue back and forth, these two companies are laughing to the bank. They're laughing all the way to the bank. You can talk all day long about how bad that controller or how bad that console is, you can trash it all day long. Guess what? The console is still going to come out. The controller is going to come out. Gamers are going to buy it. They're laughing all the way to the bank. Do these companies really, really care about you? No, they care about selling a product to you. That's pretty much all they care about, is putting out a product to outdo the competition and hope that you buy it. Okay? It is what it is. Man. But that is pretty much it. That is pretty much it. So enjoy gaming, man. Whatever platform that you prefer, enjoy gaming. Me, I'm going to play on all of them. I don't care. I grew up with gaming, but there are specific games that I do play. So if you ever go into my if you ever go into my my game catalog, compared to your games, you'll see the type of games that I play, right? And I love quality. I'm not going to purchase a game if I don't feel like the quality is not there, or if it's just a game that I don't want to play, right? And there's games on the Xbox and there's games on the PlayStation that I love playing, period. I'm a big Resident Evil fan. I play Resident Evil on PlayStation. I play Resident Evil on Xbox. I play Forza. I'm not a big race car fan. But I played, GT. And I played Forza on both consoles. That's just who I am. I have my specific games that I love to play. Do I play everything? No, I don't. I don't at all. But I can tell you this. The PlayStation 2 was my console. But when the Xbox 360 came out, I spent more time on the Xbox 360 than the PlayStation 3. The Xbox 360 was that freaking console to me, period, hands down. That was my baby. Every day we was on the Xbox 360. It didn't, and I don't know what happened after that. I really, really just don't know where it fell off, because at one point, I believe Satya was going to give up on the Xbox segment. When due to the whole Xbox One debacle, or somewhere in that time frame, and then they brought Phil Spencer back to save it, pretty much. And Phil Spencer so far has done a good job. They just need to get their stuff together, because this is not it. This is making Xbox look like they're incompetent in some ways, right? Do I think Microsoft they can bounce back from whatever it is? They can bounce back, and just like Phil said, they're gonna focus on what they can control. That's okay. Focus on what you can control. Fix the issue, fix the quality control issues, so nothing like this ever happens again, because this is BS. Again, guys, I don't know who leaked this stuff, but it sounds like within, again, Phil Spencer's memo that was sent out, that the buck stops with them. It was unintentionally leaked out, and, it is what it is. The memo is there. Read it. Okay? He did not blame the FTC. He did not blame anyone else leaking this information out at all within that memo. So there is a quality control issue somewhere, and Phil needs to get to the bottom of it. He needs to say enough is enough. I can't freaking sleep. I can't sleep. I'm having nightmares. Dude, we need to get our shit together. Okay? Let's get this together. We had the whole debacle about Halo. We had to delay that game, okay? To make sure that game come out and perform and do well. It's doing well, okay? Next, you had the whole debacle about Redfall. Oh my goodness. Then you come out and say, yeah, we should have spent more time with Redfall, blah, blah, blah.
Don't let Phil Spencer be the spokesman. Do not. Then you come out and say, hey, we have lost the console race. We are not in the space to out console Sony and Nintendo. I know I said this earlier. Dude, stop. Stop, Phil. Stop. You're telling, oh my goodness, you're throwing in a surrender flag. That's it. We're in third place. Loco said it best. Change the game. That's what Microsoft has done. They changed the game. They're moving in a different direction. Good. Kudos. Keep moving. Get into that cloud space, whatever that is. Get into that, and hopefully, the next 10 years, the infrastructure will look a whole lot better. They have a big foothold in that space. Now Sony has to compete. Okay. Now they have to compete if they want to get into that space, that market, or they want a piece of that market share. They have to compete. Okay. Stop talking. Stop apologizing. Stop. Okay. There has to be some people there has to be some oversight in everything that you guys do from now on across the board in order for Microsoft to be successful and to stay on top or to get on top. Okay. Because right now it's just not looking good, man. It's not. Now, some of the diehards are going to say, again, I said it a million times already. You don't know what you're talking about because they're going to defend Microsoft to the T. I'm going to call a spade a spade. It is what it is. It's right here. The facts are right here. It's here. You don't believe me? I'm not taking his memo out of context. It's what he said. It's what he stated. Come on, man. There's going to have to be a time where his people are going to say, dude, enough is enough. What the H is going on? I can't stand on stage every time and apologize to my people, to my gamer fan base and say, hey, we messed up over here, but we're going to stick together. We're strong. Yes, I understand that. Great. That's fine. Those bouquet of words are great. Yes. But you got to say, Phil Spencer, if you ever see this, you have to put your foot down and say enough is freaking enough. I want all hands on deck. Period. Give me everybody in this room right now. No more. No more. Period. We are going to listen to our gamers. We're going to listen to the gamers that's not even part of our ecosystem. We're going to listen to them too. We're going to listen to because he did state that in the email where he was sitting back eating popcorn, kind of. He was sitting back eating popcorn, listening to the communities about the whole PS5 reveal. And then he comes out and say that we have a better product than the Sony PlayStation 5. And now you get the results of that. I'm going to say this one last time. It's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight and the dog. And look at the results. Yes, you have the most powerful console, but what is your console? How's your console performing against the Sony PlayStation 5? Thinker, thank you so much for the $10, man. I really appreciate that. God bless you, man. Yes, it's the demons, man. They got me. I'm trying to bring it down as best I can. But, I'm rooting for Microsoft to succeed. Okay? Because I want to continue to play my, games. There's games that I love, some first party games that I love with Microsoft. I'm looking forward to Hellblade 2. I'm looking forward to Indiana Jones. I'm looking forward to Fable, one of my favorite classics. Oh my goodness. I'm looking forward to Forza Motorsport that's coming out. I will be picking that up. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I have my Xbox Series X. I have my PlayStation 4. Dude, I am ready to go. Okay? But Microsoft need to get... PlayStation is quiet. You don't really hear anything about PlayStation. So for those ones that say, oh, those ponies, there are ponies, yes, that talk about Xbox all the time. There are Xbox that talk about PlayStation all the time. I'm not neither one of them. It's in the news. It's right here. You don't really hear nothing about PlayStation. It's dead out here with PlayStation. They haven't communicated nothing, really, at all. Right? You got the PlayStation Portal coming out. You got you got Spider-Man 2. I'm looking forward to playing that game when it comes out. What else? You don't hear anything else from PlayStation. So I can agree. It's just dead out here, you know? But the same thing on the Microsoft side. It's really nothing really to talk about. But this, it's right here. It's this. I'm like, come on, man. This is crazy. All right. Let me take my chill pill. Hold on. Demons. Demon. I hope I'm making some sense. I mean, if you guys still think I'm crazy, that's okay. That's fine. Again, I'm rooting for Microsoft to get rid of the nonsense. Get rid of it, man, because it's there. Phil Spencer, take control. You gotta take control of this, man. And like you said, you're gonna control what you can control. Do it. Do it now, man. I'm telling you. Just do it now. So we don't have stuff like this. This is bad for business. Again. Shout out to all you guys, man, who have joined the stream. Listening to me ran on for the last 5 minutes here. Man, I'm just gonna continue to sit back and watch all this play out, you know, and hopefully, things will turn out the best for all sides. Again, I'm just gonna continue to play games and go from there. Loco says good. Loco says peace always. The Thinker says I'm always on the side of whatever games I can afford, which is all of them. Balling. Yes. And the Thinker, man, he said he's pre-ordered like 7 games, man. Already, pre-ordered what? Alan Wake 2, Final Fantasy. Jeez, man. Man, the Thinker balling, man. Thank you for the $10 though. I really appreciate that. To all the small PP dudes, it's the motion in the ocean. I'm not gonna go there. Pause. Hey. I'm going to leave with this. To all my Xbox fans who gets it, shout out. Much love. To all my PlayStation fans, ponies, aka ponies, that gets it, much respect. Love to you. For those Xbox and for those ponies who just ramble on about nothing, that don't get it, get out of your mom's basement, man. Please. Go out, get some sunshine before winter comes. Fall is coming. Just get out, get some fresh air, come back in, and just try. And try to understand. Tomorrow, guys. I will see you tomorrow. Much love to you guys. Peace out. Hit the like button on the way out. Hey, if you're new here, subscribe. And we're going to play Resident Evil 4 Separate Ways on the channel. Love you guys. Take care of yourself. Enjoy your evening. And I will see you guys in the next Gaming and Reaction podcast. Take care of yourselves. Peace.